Hello everybody, welcome back. Yaje here, and in today's video I just want to share with you some things about the ugu seeds that you need to know before you purchase the seeds if you are here in the USA, Canada, or any other country outside of Africa. The reason why I want you to have this information is so that you know what to expect before you spend your money,
to avoid frustrations,
to avoid headaches, to avoid headaches. And I will also share with you a bonus tip on my recommendation if you're looking to grow this vegetable, the ugu or the fluted pumpkin, in your garden in the USA, Canada, or any country outside of Africa. But before we get started, go ahead and click on that thumbs up button if you're excited to learn about what you need to know before you buy the seeds of this vegetable. I have had my fair share of frustrations about getting the seeds and growing this vegetable. I continue to figure it out, and I continue to share the information I have about it here on this channel so you don't get to make the same mistakes as I did. Ugu again is known as the fluted pumpkin or Telferia occidentalis. In Cameroon we know it as Okong, obong. It's a very important vegetable for people in Central and West Africa. Ugu plant can only be cultivated from the seed. You cannot cultivate it from the stem. If you are in the USA, Canada, or any other country outside of Africa, it is very difficult to lay your hands on these seeds. The seeds are scarce and they are expensive. And here is why the seeds are very scarce and expensive. It's important that you understand. Ugu is dioecious. It's a dioecious plant. That means you have the male and you have the female separately. And just from getting the seeds, you cannot tell which one will be male and which one will be female. And the reason why this is important is because the fruit can only be produced by the female ugu. When you get the seeds again, you cannot tell which one. Chances are you can get all male, and it has happened to me. If you happen to get a female, then there's a chance that you can get some fruit and subsequently seeds from your purchase. Say you have the female ugu, it takes sometimes up to 12 months for that female ugu to produce the fruit. It can take 6 or 7 months, but it can also take up to 12 months to fruit. And after it fruits, it can take another 2 months, maybe 2.5 months for the fruits to mature to produce viable seeds. That can be 14 months if you're doing the math. And if you're out here in the USA or Canada or any other country outside of Africa, you have to factor in winter. We don't get the luxury of getting, an extended growing season that we can grow year round. Winter comes and everything dies unless you have a greenhouse. So those that are able to produce ugu seeds here in the USA or Canada or in Europe must have like a greenhouse. And for us regular people growing gardens in the backyard, we don't have greenhouses, or we don't even have the time to take care of crops year round. So very few farms that I know produce ugu seeds here in the USA. I'm working on it. One day I will be able to produce enough ugu seeds so that it's not as scarce and consequently or subsequently not as expensive. Here's another thing about the ugu seed you need to know. It is a recalcitrant seed. What that means is the more the seed gets dry because you have taken it out of the pod and it's losing water weight, the smaller the chances that it is going to germinate. Like, it loses its viability, its ability to germinate the longer it stays out of the pod, the drier it becomes. So that means that the seed needs to get to you in a fresh state, because if it's dry, it is not going to germinate. So that means that if you order the seeds here in the USA from some farm, expect the seed to look wet, because that's how it's going to germinate. I've shared a video talking about how to tell just by feeling the seed if the seed is still good or not. You can watch the video. I'm going to link that up here. when you receive your seed and it looks wet, it is not rotten. It's just that the seed needs to get to you in a fresh state so it can germinate. If you order the seeds from Africa, say you go on Etsy and you find that it's cheaper and you order it from Africa, first you have to trust that the person in Africa is going to actually take your money and send the seeds. And if they do send the seeds, factor in how long it takes for the seeds to travel and the fact that it's a recalcitrant seed. As it stays in transit, and with COVID and whatever else is going on in the world, can guarantee you that it's not going to take less than 1 week. Plus the time that they had to harvest the seed and prepare it for transportation, and then it takes another 1 week. Chances are when the seeds finally get to you, they are not all going to be viable, like you're still taking a risk. Now let me talk about the germination rate of ugu seeds. The germination rate of ugu seeds depends on the weight of the seeds. Heavier seeds have a higher germination rate. Seeds that are not very heavy, about 10 grams or so, have a lower germination rate. The heavy seeds, we're talking 22 grams, more than 20 grams of the weight of the seeds. Even the heavy seeds have only maybe about 80-something% germination rate. That means that if you have 10 heavy, good ugu seeds, maybe 8 of them will germinate. If you have 5 heavy ugu seeds, maybe 4 of them will germinate, about an 80% germination rate. So when buying the ugu seeds, please buy at least 5. So factor in the fact that most seeds don't have 100% germination rate even when they are viable, because there are other things that can happen, you know. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. Here is your bonus tip. The bonus tip is that I will recommend you buy the pre-germinated seeds and not the seeds. So you're buying the plants. That way they are sure to pick up and grow in your garden. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and share with anyone who is looking to grow the fluted pumpkin in their garden here in the USA, Canada, or any other country outside of Africa.